You've said it a couple of times now. It's limited to 12, 25, 22 through January 8th, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's the data you're talking to them about, correct?
Yes, I only viewed that information.
You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that you have the entire contents of the MacBook, don't you?
I do have the contents.
And how far in date does the content go back on the MacBook?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
Because you limited your warrant to 12, 25, 22.
That's correct.
So if you thought, as an officer involved in an investigation, that there might be some important information that predates 12, 25, 22, you have every right, and there's a procedure for you to go back to the court and explain to the court why you think there might be more information back before 12/25, and see if you could get a warrant to cover that earlier information.
If I had information showing that there was more, then I could, yes.
Okay, and you never did.
I don't believe I had any other information showing that I needed to.
And you didn't have any information that you thought it would be important to your investigation to go back before December 25th, did you?
For my role, that's correct.
Okay. So, when we heard about, for instance, this Pornhub search that occurred on 12/27, remember that?
Yes, sir.
And we heard about some other Pornhub reviews, like Chattergate, correct?
That's correct.
And something about Miss Bell, correct?
About what?
Miss Bell?
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I'm sorry, Miss B.
I still don't remember, but okay.
Okay. Do you remember seeing record 831? Do you have? I apologize.
I don't have that book up here to see it.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing also a reference in the very same data that you've told this jury about that talked about a movie called, or something called, Slade, Dominant, Scarlet?
I would have to see it, but could I double check it?
Well, this pedestal doesn't work quite right.
I have my copy. If you want to just tell me the page, I can look. If that's
You know,
okay.
I do apologize. I'm going to give you the page in just a second.
Okay.
I don't know
What,
why.
832?
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
What was it? I'm sorry.
832.
Oh, record 832. I'm
Record
sorry. I thought you said
832.
832.
It's on page 227.
Thank you. All right. All right, I'm there. And yep.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Sure.
So now I want to focus your attention to record 831
Yes.
on page 226. Do you have that?
I do, sir. Thank you.
And it references something called Slade, Dominant, Scarlet, Straps, Cecilia. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you didn't testify about that to the jury, did you? Today, on direct examination.
No, I wasn't asked.
Okay. Morning. You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that when you look at these searches involving Pornhub, that in fact, there's a number of, and I keep referring to them as searches, but let me just ask this. There's a number of web pages that refer to what I'm going to characterize as pornography, correct?
It's about 10.
Right. And am I right to say that that cheating wife reference, what's the entire title of the cheating wife reference?
Cheating wife seduces another man to impregnate her. Scarlet Scandal, Seth Gamble, Erotica X, Pornhub.com.
Do you have any idea how that particular porn movie, whatever it is, do you know how it came about?
The only thing I say is that Pornhub was viewed and that video was selected.
Okay. You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that there is no specific search term for cheating wife, is there?
Well, it wasn't in a Google search. It was through Pornhub, so it doesn't record that.
Okay, so your answer is, I agree with you, or yes.
That there's no specific terms listed? That is correct. The video was there. Clicked on.
Because you've already told this jury, and they saw it in a number of examples, that when the user enters a particular search term, the user, that it's a particular word, and then there's generally a plus sign that attaches it to the next search term, correct?
Only in the Google search engine.
Okay. And with regard to this movie Cheating Wife, there is no indication that the term cheating or the term wife or anything else was used to get to that movie.
As I said, I can't view any terms that were put into Pornhub, so it only shows me that search query in Google.
And let me ask you this. In part of your investigation, did you ever go and view some of that movie?
No, I did not.
Okay. But you did testify that there were times, like for other searches, you went and followed the document and the links, and you reviewed the document.
That's correct.
But with regard to this movie, you have no idea what this movie is about, correct?
That's correct.
And you don't know, then, prior to December 25th of 2022, how many times, whoever was looking at the MacBook, how many times they frequented porn movies at Pornhub, did you?
I didn't look at any data prior to December 25th.
Okay. And you don't know how long this person that was looking at this movie, how long they viewed the movie, or if they viewed it at all.
I do. It shows me a time frame of 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes. And how long is the movie?
I have no idea.
So someone started watching that movie, they watched it for 7 minutes, and that was the end of it. Is that your testimony?
That's correct. And then I went to that Slade dominant Scarlet video.
Okay, and that Slay Scarlet, do you recognize the fact that there is some actress referred to with regards to the cheating wife name that's also named Scarlet?
That's correct.
So it's fair to say, isn't it, that you have no idea as you sit here today whether the person who is looking at this porn hub video, if they're trying to get access to movies that have perhaps their favorite actress or anything else of the sort, do you?
I don't know who this person is, so I have no idea.
So your answer is no.
That's correct. I don't know.
And quite frankly, Trooper, isn't it fair to say that when you open up some website like Pornhub, it comes open and it has all of these possible selections you can make?
I don't know. I'm not a peruser of Pornhub, but sure it has options.
Okay. So you have no idea what options were presented to the person that opened up this page, do you?
No, I don't.
But yet, it was important enough to include it in the data that you put into that binder?
With the information that we knew, yes.
Okay. And that information, let's just cut to the chase here, is because of the word cheating wife, isn't it?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so just the fact that there was a phrase involving cheating wife, that to you was something that, okay, let's just include that in all this data and throw it out. Correct?
No.
Okay. So you didn't take the time to look to see what the movie was about. I understand that, correct?
That's correct.
You didn't take the time to see if the actor in the other movie, Slay, Dominant, whatever, was the same actress in the other movie, right?
That's correct.
So you really just said, oh, I see the phrase cheating wife, and so I think that's important, so I'll include it in my data.
I'm going to object, Your Honor, to time frame.
I'll see you at the sidebar, side of the bench.
So, first, my apologies, because I'm afraid that my question is misleading the jury. Go back. This binder that has been marked as an exhibit contains the entire contents of what you found on the MacBook between the dates of 12/25/22 and January 8th of 2023.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So when I suggested in my question that you, sir, selected certain things, that is completely wrong, isn't it?
That's correct.
Okay. And so I should have used this word. You would agree that you were focused on, by the question, you were focused on the title cheating wife, correct?
Yes, I was asked that in direct.
Okay. Follow. But you were never focused on direct examination as to the other porn movie, the Slay Dominant or whatever the title is, right?
That's correct.
And since you decided not to go back prior to December 25th of 2022, you really can't tell this jury how many times and how many different movies were viewed on this MacBook porn movie.
It's not entirely true.
Because of the 12 visits?
That's correct. So I could look at visits and it could tell me Pornhub was visited. I'm just trying to look here to see how many times. And then it would also tell me, the video would also tell me how many visits. But I'm not sure if that's the entirety of the Spire history or just what I've collected.
Right. You're not sure if it's the entirety of what? Finish that sentence.
The web history that's in the device, yes.
So you just don't know.
That's correct. I didn't go back.
And